Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins, your host of the Marvel DC Universe Fan Club, and I'll be discussing two topics, which is Scott Adkins' Batman audition tape, surfacing online, of course. And it's probably old news, but it's new to me though, so thought I'd talk about it in case for those who actually don't know about it. And of course, Aquaman 2 being greenlit for 2022 as we update our DC movies calendar. So let's start with Scott Adkins, of course. So, of course, while the nerd world waits with bated breath to find out who plays the role of Batman next, we know we now have a new look at someone who almost wore the cowl. A tape of actor and stuntman Scott Adkins has made its way online, which shows him auditioning for the role of the Cape Crusader in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. While it was revealed as early as 2013 that Scott Adkins had been up for the role, this video gives the first insight into what his version of Bruce Wayne, could have looked like. So, Atkins has been no stranger to the comic book realm rather, at the time, having previously served as a stand-in for Deadpool. Yes, the one in that one in X-Men Origins Wolverine. And while Atkins did not immediately get the role of Batman, he went to play a zealot in 2016's Doctor Strange, and still holds a pretty big love for the superhero world. He said, and I quote, "I was a massive fan of the Spider-Man comics as a kid. That's what I read religiously. All of them are spectacular. Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. I grew up on reading that stuff. My grandmother, I struggled a little bit at school, so what my grandmother would do is she would buy me loads of Marvel comics, and every weekend I would go there and I'd have Thor, Daredevil, and mostly Spider-Man. I was geeky about that. I would love to go to the comic trunk and pick out stuff. Then, other than that, it's martial arts and movies, which is what I do for a living now. My geekiness turned into my dad job, so it all worked out." End quote. So at the moment, DC is currently hunting for a pretty young take of on a Cape Crusader, who will star in Matt Reeves' The Batman. So I don't know if this takes place before or after the events of Batman vs. Superman, but it's kind of hard to tell. Matt Reeves said, and I quote, it's very much a point of view driven noir Batman tale." Reeves said end quote. But he said this in a recent interview, and he said, and I quote, "It's told very squarely on his shoulders, and I hope it's going to be a story that will be thrilling but also emotional. It's more Batman in his detective mode than we've seen in the films. The comics have a history of that. So he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and that's not necessarily been a part of the movies. It's not necessarily been a part of what the movies have been. I love this one to be one of where we will go on that journey of tracking down criminals and trying to solve a crime. It's going to allow his character to have an arc so that he can go through a transformation." End quote. So that's pretty much it, But oh yeah, let's not forget, upcoming DC films include Shazam on April 5th, Joker on October 3rd, Birds of Prey, and the fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn on February 7th, 2020, Wonder Woman 1984 on June 5th, 2020, The Batman on June 25th, 2021, and Suicide Squad on August 6th, 2021. So that concludes this topic, of course. Now we're going to go to Aquaman, being greenlit for 2022, as we have a date in our DC movies calendar. So, yeah, a sequel of Aquaman is officially happening, but it's going to be a long wait. Warner Brothers announced that a follow-up of the hit superhero film starring Jason Momoa will be released on December 16, 2022. The news follows back Aquaman ranking up $1.1 billion at the global box office since its December's release, making it the highest-grossing DC EU film. Domestically, Aquaman has made $335 million, making it the second-grossing DC EU title in the United States, behind 2017's Wonder Woman. So, there's no word yet on whether James Wan will return as director, though it's very difficult to imagine the studio not making every attempt to resign Wan given the success of the first film. Deadline previously reported that Wan's frequent collaborator David Leslie Johnson, Goldrick, will write the script. In addition to the official Aquaman sequel, a spin-off horror about the Trench Kingdom, the underworld with the toothy monsters that attacked Aquaman and Mera in the first film, is also in development, which I don't know why, but the Trench is accepted to have a new director and cast. I don't know why the hell they would even make that. But, so, let's update our DC movies calendar. So the family comedy adventure Shazam, starring Zachary Levi, is out April 5th. Joker is a standalone origin story starring Joaquin Phoenix and directed by Todd Phillips, and that is coming October 4th, of course, which I mentioned previously. I think I mentioned that previously in the previous topic. But Birds of Prey, led by Margaret Robbie, reprising her role as Harley Quinn, is expected on February 7, 2020. So then the highly anticipated Wonder Woman 1984 sequel, which adds Pedro Pascal and Kristen Wiig to the cast, led by Gal Gadot. And that's on June 5th, 2020. So the Batman is, of course, the Batman, with an as-yet unnamed star taking over for Ben Affleck as the Cape Crusader, is on June 25th, 2021. So, and the Suicide Squad, which will have a script from ousted Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn, is out August 6, 2021. And finally, Aquaman is on December 16, 2022. So many other DC titles are in development, but these are the film's dates right now. So, but that concludes this episode, of course. So feel free to visit us and like us on Facebook. We're available on iTunes, the Google Play Music app, and of course YouTube, and by the way, Spotify.